Good morning, children.
Good morning, ma'am.
What was the topic we were revising in biotechnology? The second topic. The first was just an introduction to tell you the importance of biotechnology. And second topic which we took up was
Enzymes.
enzymes. Very good. You can study from whatever book you have, all in one or whatever, where you will surely find the name of these enzymes. Maybe the how they work is not given to you. And there is no need to write all this in exams also, how they work and all. But if your concepts will be clear, you will never forget this. The first heading of the enzymes was
Lysing enzymes.
Lysing enzymes.
lysing enzymes. We generally break which two things?
Cell membrane or
Cell
cell
wall.
wall.
Cell wall and plasma.
Okay, name the two enzymes used to break the cell wall.
Cellulase and pectinase.
Cellulose and
Cellulase and pectinase.
And then if it is an animal cell, we need to, yes, we need to break the plasma membrane. Which two enzymes?
Proteases and
Protease
lipase.
and lipase.
Okay, fungal cell.
Chitinase.
Chitinase.
And then the same enzymes. And if it's a bacterial cell?
Lysosome.
Lysozymes.
Yes, very good. So now we move on to these. So if the first heading you will put as lysing enzymes, put it into 4 different parts. Enzymes involved in plant cells, animal cells, give reason why we need only 2, and then move on to bacterial and fungal cells. Second category of enzymes, the most important ones were molecular scissors. What was the name?
endonuclease.
Endonucleases.
Endonucleases. I'll be telling you in detail about endonucleases further in the chapter. So we call them as molecular scissors. Why?
Because they cut the DNA.
Yes. They cut the DNA. That is why they are known as molecular scissors. We had another name for them. What was it? Restriction endonucleases. Okay, let me move on and show you. I had given this word to you. See this. Yes. Why are they called restriction endonucleases? Look at this word, also called restriction endonucleases, because they restrict the foreign DNA to attack the host cell. Tell me very quickly, why are endonucleases called as restriction endonucleases?
Because they restrict the foreign DNA to attack the
Host cell. Host cell. Now let me see how much you remember. I tried to explain this to you. And again, I'm saying the same thing. Whatever you don't understand, please ask me. Don't go further. In 1963, it was found that prokaryotes have which kind of a mechanism, which system is present in the body automatically to protect them?
natural defense.
Natural defenses.
It is made up of 2 parts. One was the,
Methylating agent.
and
Methylating
the
agent.
second was this enzyme endonuclease. What is the role of methylating agent?
It keeps methyl group.
To give
To protect the
methyl group.
DNA of E. coli.
I will just put the E. coli, I will just put it on your screen. You will identify and tell me what am I talking about. This is an E. coli, Escherichia coli. What is this?
Virus.
Virus. So this is getting infected by a virus. This is leaving this. What is this strain of DNA? Whose DNA is this? Whose genetic material?
Virus.
I have drawn this as circular so that you can differentiate between both of them. This is whose genetic material?
E.
E.
coli.
coli.
E. coli. Basically, both of them are DNA. Both of them are made up of nitrogenous bases. You have. So we said, let us assume that this particular category of endonuclease cuts between.
ANT.
So will it be able to differentiate between the A and T of its own DNA and the foreign DNA or not?
No.
No. So wherever it will find an A and T, it will start cutting. So who comes to help now to save the DNA, original DNA?
Methyl.
Methylating agent.
Very good. So if you see this T does not have a dot, but this T has a dot. And what is this dot? What does this dot show? What is this?
Methyl.
Methyl.
So this methyl group will either attach to T or it will attach to A. So when this endonuclease will come to cut A and T, this is not a combination of A and T. This is a combination of a methyl group attached to T. So it will not cut this. So what will be saved, foreign DNA or native own DNA?
Only.
But it will destroy the DNA of the virus. So this is how E. coli is protected. Is it okay? Sure. Should I move further?
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
But this answer you people did not give me today. Why are they called restriction endonucleases? Speak out, all of you.
Ma'am, because it restricts foreign
Because
DNA to
they
attack
restrict foreign DNA to attack host cell.
Okay. So we have two names for endonucleases. Tell me quickly, what are the two names we have?
molecular scissor and
molecular
restriction
scissors and
Molecular
restriction
restriction
endonuclease.
endonuclease.
Yes. And I hope you know both why they are called. Tell me quickly, why are they called molecular scissors and why are they called restriction endonucleases?
Because they cut the DNA and
They cut
they are
the
called
DNA.
restriction
and
and
restriction
because it
prevent
restricts
DNA.
the entry of foreign DNA to attack the host cell.
Okay. Now we move on to the type 3 enzymes. Alkaline phosphatase. Please name the third category of enzymes.
Alkaline
Alkaline
phosphatase.
phosphate.
Alkaline phosphate.
Now, before I tell you what is the function of alkaline phosphatase, understand this. Beta, this is a plasmid. What is a plasmid, children?
Circular DNA.
It's an extranuclear circular genetic material. What is a plasmid? It's a circular genetic material. So, beta, what have I taken? Now, see very nicely, I'll show you something. We want to cut this plasmid. Plasmid is an extranuclear genetic material found in prokaryotes. Extranuclear means nucleus ke bahar hota hai. This is not found inside the nucleus. This is extranuclear material and it is always circular. This genetic material DNA is circular. So please see over here. I've taken this. I want to cut this. If I want to cut this, what will I need? Who will cut this?
Endonuclease.
Endonuclease.
Now, what is a plasmid? Understand this. You'll come across this word many times in your books. Extranuclear genetic material in prokaryotes. The word extranuclear means it is found outside the nucleus. So it's an extranuclear material found outside the nucleus, but you will find it only in which category of organisms?
Prokaryotes.
Prokaryotes. I told you I want to cut this. With whose help I will cut?
Endonuclease.
Huh. Now, Bache, to understand this, you will have to do a bit of exercise with me. When something is very nice and something cooked nicely or some dress very nice, and I ask you, how is this? What do you say? Perfect. And when you say perfect, you use your thumb and the finger just next to the thumb and make a circle. You do it or you don't do it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
do you show? How do you show something is perfect? Bilkul badhiya. Tell me, you join what two things in your hands?
Ma'am,
Thumb
pointer
and-
finger and thumb.
Finger and the
Now we will all try and do an exercise so that we can understand what I have drawn. All of you please make this, join this and make a circle. Take your thumb, take your finger, adjacent to it and make a circle. Have you made a circle? Everybody could make a circle?
yes, ma'am.
So this is your plasmid. What is this?
Plasmid.
Plasmid. Now, wherever both of your nails are meeting each other, when you make a circle, the nail of your finger and the nail of your thumb must be meeting at some place. Assume that at this point, this enzyme has cut the plasmid. Which enzyme?
Endonuclease.
Endonuclease. Now, once this enzyme will cut this, now start opening your circle slowly, slowly, and take your finger and thumb as far as you can take from each other. Done?
Yes,
Done? So you're
Yes,
getting
ma'am.
something, you're getting something like a straight line. linear structure. What structure are you getting after opening it?
Linear structure.
Linear. Something like a line. What is it called? If you have not understood, I will tell somebody to switch on the camera and show it to you. But if you have understood, we can proceed. Something like a line, this is known as a linear structure. Now see over here, this was a plasmid. What is a plasmid?
Extranuclear genetic materials.
I want to cut this plasmid. Reason why I'll tell you later. Which enzyme am I taking?
Endonuclease.
So when I cut this plasmid with the help of endonuclease from here, I will get this kind of a structure. This is called as a linear structure of DNA. This is genetic material. What structure is this?
Linear.
Okay, I have written finger
Linear.
experiment. Everybody understood this finger experiment to understand how plasmid can be converted into a linear DNA?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, all of you need to remember that whenever we have a genetic material, we have a DNA. We have two ends in a linear structure. This end, one end is called the 3' end, and the other is called as the 5' end. Third carbon free, fifth carbon free. We call this as 3'. We write 3 and we put a small line on the top. This is 3'. If one end of the linear DNA is 3', the other is automatically which prime?
5'.
5'. So don't say 3' and 5'. Wherever you come across this word, what is the word you will be using? 3'. Prime. And this 5' means 5'. Okay. Now the only problem is, let me explain this to you. On the 3' end, we always have a hydroxyl group, OH group. On 3' end, always, which group is present?
Hydroxyl.
See over here. On the 3' group, you have OH, and on the 5' you have a phosphate group. This is permanent over here. On the 3' group, you have what? Which group?
Hydroxyl group.
Hydroxyl. And what do you have on the 5' end?
Phosphate group.
Phosphate group.
Phosphate group. Now the problem is that both of them have a strong affinity for each other. They like each other a lot. OH and which group?
Phosphate. Okay. Now they come closer to each other and they form a very strong bond which is known as phosphodiester bond. Please name the bond.
Phosphodiester.
That means phosphodiester bond will be formed between which two groups?
Hydroxyl and phosphate.
Okay. When I say hydroxyl, I mean OH. Whenever we say hydroxyl, which group are we talking about, children?
OH.
Now, again, let's go back to the finger experiment. Okay. Let's open our plasmid. We have got, let us assume the thumb as 3'. The end of the thumb as 3', and the end of your finger as 5'. So which group is present on the tip of your thumb?
Hydroxyl.
And which group is present on the tip of your finger?
Phosphate.
And I said both of them have a strong affinity for each other. So obviously they would like to come closer and form a bond or not. Which bond will they form?
Phosphodiester bond.
Phosphodiester bond. So they have a strong affinity for each other. After cutting it with endonuclease, you have made it linear. But they will again come closer together towards each other and form a phosphodiester bond. That means your linear molecule will again become a circular molecule. Plasmid. What will it become again? Plasmid. You again cut it with the endonuclease. What will happen, children? Again, it will get a linear structure, but the problem would remain the same. That on one end, you will have which group? Hydroxyl group. And the other end, you have?
Phosphate group.
And both of them have a strong affinity to form which kind of bonds?
Phosphodiester bond.
Phosphodiester.
Please understand this. Only you will be able to understand the function of the enzymes that I'm talking about. You don't have to write and explain all this in exams. Whatever bit is written in your books, you can go ahead with that. Now, again and again, you cut, they will again become a circular plasmid. So the problem continues. Now, first question arises that why are we doing this exercise? Why are we opening the plasmid into a linear structure when again and again it is becoming a plasmid? Reason is, I have to introduce my gene of interest. You remember gene of interest? What is gene of interest? The foreign gene which I want to. Yes. What is gene of interest, children? Tell me.
The gene which we want from
Yes,
any other.
the gene which we want. That is called gene of interest. I want to insert a gene of interest into this DNA. It will be very difficult to insert a foreign gene into a circular DNA. But it is easier to insert a gene in a linear DNA. Now, supposing you draw a line of 5 centimeters and I say add another 2 centimeters. Is it easier? Just 5 centimeters are already there. You will only add on how many more centimeters? बेटा 5 सेंटीमीटर की लाइन को 7 सेंटीमीटर बनाना है तो सिर्फ कितना सेंटीमीटर और ऐड कर दोगे, आप एक्सटेंड कर दोगे?
2 centimeter.
2 centimeter.
बहुत जल्दी हो जाएगा ना? Will it be easy?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? Okay. But if I tell you a circle of radius 5 centimeter has to be increased to, I want to add on, the circumference has to be increased. Supposing the circumference is 24 and I say, no. I have to add on another 2 centimeters to the circumference. It will not be easy to do this. So adding an insert, when I say insert, I mean a foreign gene. Adding an insert is always easier. In which kind of a DNA? Circular or linear?
Linear.
Linear DNA.
Remember, beta, this is the only step which is easier in linear DNA. All other steps, the circular DNA is always useful because it is smaller in size. If we keep on adding inserts, तो length बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है DNA का. And it is very difficult to handle a long DNA. So after we add on insert, again we convert it into a circular DNA for the rest of the processes because handling a small circle is easier compared to a very long strand. Only this step is easier in which DNA, circular or linear?
Linear.
That is why we are doing this experiment. We have opened our circular DNA, which was called plasmid, into a linear DNA. But the problem was on the 3' end, what group you had, children?
Hydroxyl group.
Yes, on the 5'.
Phosphate.
Now, again, they will combine together, make a circular plasmid now. Now see, again, they can become circular. So we have to remove this phosphate. The only way to stop this linear molecule from again becoming circular is remove this group. Which group?
Phosphate group.
See this line. This is a linear DNA. On the 3' end, you have an OH. But on 5', I have written no pH. There is no phosphate over here. Okay. So will phosphodiester bond be formed?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
On the left side, please see. I tried to explain this. The bond is only formed between P and OH. That means between phosphate and OH. But if there is no P, then no bond. Understood what is written roughly on the left side? Phosphodiester bonds are formed only when both the things are present. Which two things?
Hydroxyl group
Hydroxyl group and phosphate group.
But if there is no phosphate, then no bond is formed. When I started the topic, I talked about an enzyme, alkaline phosphatase. What name did we take of the third enzyme?
Alkaline phosphatase.
Yes. So this alkaline phosphatase will do this work only. It will remove the phosphate from which end? 3' or 5'?
5
5
prime.
prime.
5 prime. So that which bond is not formed?
Phosphodiester bond.
Phosphodiester.
And your linear DNA remains to be which structure? Linear or circular?
Linear.
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 So what is the function of this enzyme? Alkaline
To
phosphatase. It
remove phosphate group.
phosphate. So you may come across this very simply written in certain books that the function of alkaline phosphatase is to remove the phosphate from which end, beta?
5 prime.
5 prime end.
Five
But did you understand why we need to remove this phosphatase?
Yes.
Okay. I told you, why was I doing this entire process? Why do I want to still have it in a linear shape? Why am I trying to convert the plasmid? Plasmid means circular DNA. Why am I trying to convert the plasmid into a linear DNA? I told you the reason.
Insert gene of interest.
Yes. Yes. We want to insert
Because-
another, we want to add on another piece of DNA. We want to modify that DNA. Now I've tried to explain it, do a bit roughly. See now. This seems to be a little complicating. If you don't understand, let me know. This is your linear DNA. On 3 prime, what is present?
Hydroxyl group.
Hydroxyl group.
Do we have anything on the 5 prime?
No, ma'am.
Very good. Now see, this is your gene, the gene which has to be inserted. Can you see this gene? This hill structure over here, Teda Meda?
Yes, ma'am.
This gene will also have its 3 prime end and 5 prime end. 3 prime end of gene will also have which group?
Hydroxyl.
Hydroxyl group. And the 5 prime end of gene will also have which group?
Phosphate group.
Phosphate group.
So what will I do? I will bring the 5 prime end closer to the 3 prime end and attach this gene with this linear DNA. Now a bond will be formed. Again, which bond will be formed? Phosphodiester bond will be formed. Which bond will be formed again?
Phosphodiester bond.
But this time it is going to be between the phosphate of the gene, phosphate of the gene and OH of
Plasmid.
yes, the linear structure of DNA, the open plasmid. See beta this. This was your linear structure of DNA. This was your gene, derived gene. And now the gene is added. We need another enzyme ligase. This enzyme will attach this gene to this. And ये attachment बहुत मजबूत हो जाएगा because of the formation of which bond?
Phosphodiester.
Phosphodiester.
bond.
What is the difference between the phosphodiester bond which was formed here and the phosphodiester bond which is formed here? See, here the phosphodiester bond was formed between the OH and the P of the same linear DNA. But here, beta, P is coming from
Gene.
P is coming from 5 prime end of the gene and the OH is of
Linear DNA.
linear DNA. I always told you phosphodiester bonds are formed between OH and yes.
Phosphate group.
Did you understand this or should I take it up once again, children? Function of alkaline phosphatase and making how to insert a foreign gene. Did you understand? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Let me finish this one more small enzyme, then I'll take it up again with you. Wait, let me finish this, then I'll take up again. Acha chalo, let me see if you have understood. What was this?
Plasmid.
Then we have cut the plasmid with the help of which enzyme?
Endonuclease.
Very good. Now after cutting this Yes. Your circular plasmid is converted into?
Linear structure.
Linear DNA.
Yes, beta. We have two ends over here, a 3' end and
5'.
very good. 3' end contains which group?
Hydroxyl group.
Hydroxyl groups.
And 5' end contains?
Phosphate group.
Phosphate group.
Okay. Whenever you have any genetic material, gene, DNA, whatever we're talking about, it will always have two ends, 3' and 5'. And then these groups will be present. Both of them have a strong affinity for each other. And they form which bond?
Phosphodiester bond.
Phosphodiester. That means the phosphodiester bond is formed between two groups. Which two groups?
Hydroxyl and phosphate. Hydroxyl and phosphate.
So as soon as you cut your plasmid with endonuclease, you get a linear structure. This you can practice with the help of your fingers and do. But because they have affinity, again, they will become a circular plasmid. So we want them as a linear structure because we need to insert or add on what? Why do we want that it should be linear?
Gene of interest.
Yes, we want to keep it as a linear molecule for some time because we want to add gene of interest, and it is always easier to add gene of interest in a linear structure as compared to a circular structure. So the only option we had was to remove which group?
Phosphate.
Phosphate group.
Okay, who is going to remove that phosphate? Which enzyme?
Alkaline phosphatase.
Alkaline phosphatase.
Alkaline phosphatase will remove the P from here. So,
Ma'am, can we remove hydroxyl group at the place of phosphate?
beta, we can, but we don't have any very active or efficient enzymes to remove OH. Otherwise, it was same. You could have removed this also, then also it would have been the same thing. We could have added from this side. Phosphodiester bond to tab bhi ban jayega. But we have very efficient enzymes to remove this P. That is why we remove this P. So this is 3' end with which group?
Hydroxyl.
Hydroxyl.
And 5' does it have phosphate now? It does not have. So phosphodiester bond is not formed. But now this gene is coming. So this is 3' of gene. This is 5' of gene. Again, a phosphodiester bond is being formed, but it is now being formed between 5' of
Gene.
Gene of interest.
yes, and 3' of
Linear DNA.
yes. See, this is a rDNA, recombinant DNA. Why is it a recombinant DNA? Because this was the original DNA and this is a foreign insert. So this is a little modified DNA, that is rDNA. Chalo. Fourth type of enzyme is ligase. I just now told you that this gene we will attach to this material with the help of an enzyme. That attaching wala enzyme is what we call as ligase. What is that fourth enzyme called?
Ligase.
Its function is just opposite to endonuclease. Endonuclease is cut and ligases help in attachment. They are like glues. We call them as molecular glues. Wherever you want to stick something like a glue functions, ligases do the same thing. Cutting part, who is doing?
Endonuclease. Endonucleases.
And the sticking part, who is going to do?
Ligase.
Okay. The last category of enzymes is phosphorylases. I told you that it is always easier to do all the other processes related to DNA with a circular DNA or linear DNA?
Circular.
Circular.
DNA. So we want the circular DNA back. So we are going to use this enzyme phosphorylases. This will add the phosphate group again. Again, it will provide a phosphate group over here. We were missing with this group over here on the 5'. We did not have a 5' here. So this will give a phosphate group. There will be again an affinity between OH and P. And which kind of bonds will be formed again?
Phosphodiester bond.
Phosphodiester bond, and your linear structure will again be converted into
Circular.
a circular structure. Which will, what is the circular DNA called? Just now we had revised
Plasmids.
Plasmid.
plasmids. See, these are the 5 basic category of enzymes. However, endonucleases are further on the basis of where they cut. We have 2 kinds of endonucleases. I have not taken up with this because as of now, you don't even know how they cut. So first I'll tell you in the next period how endonucleases, they cut the genetic material. Depending on whether they're cutting in the center or they're cutting at the edges, we have 2 kinds of endonucleases. That part I'll take up later. But remember that the endonucleases may cut the DNA in two ways. Either they will cut at the corners, beta, edges, or they cut at some specific site in the middle. But before I tell you that, and let me classify endonucleases, first we should know how endonucleases cut the genetic material. That part I'll be taking up in the next period with you. As of now, let's have a very quick revision of the topic that we've just done. We are done with the second topic of the chapter, that is enzymes. What have we done today?
Enzymes.
In the next period, we'll take up 2 very important things about enzyme, endonuclease. We have just said that endonucleases are called molecular scissors. And why are they called molecular scissors?
Because
They
they
cut
have
the
to
DNA.
cut.
Yes, they cut the DNA. Now we need to see how they cut the DNA. And we also need to know about the nomenclature of endonucleases. How do we name these endonucleases? Okay, that is what we need to do. Very quickly, let me do it once with you. Divya Singh, she is in which class, boy? Divya Singh is here in biology only with us, 11th. I've done a blunder. Can we have a revision of the enzymes? Name the first enzyme. Yes, which is the first enzyme?
Lysing enzymes.
Okay, lysing enzyme. Second category was?
Follicular cyst.
Endonucleases.
Very good. Third category was?
Alkaline
What are the-
phosphatase.
Very good. And the fourth was?
Ligase.
Good. And the fifth, the last one was?
Phosphorylase.
Phosphorylases.
Okay, we still have about 6 minutes. The small topic is left. How endonucleases cut? Endonucleases cut at palindrome sequences. In English, palindrome is a word which when read from both the sides, the sequence remains the same. Palindrome. To remember, we always take this example of Malayalam. Which word, beta?
Malayalam.
See, you read from here Malayam. उल्टा पढ़िए Malayam. So either से पढ़िए या इधर से पढ़िए, it's going to be the same. Such kind of words are known as
Palindromes.
palindromes. So these will cut at palindrome sequences. Endonucleases, whenever they are going to cut, they're going to cut at which sequences?
Palindrome sequences.
But in a DNA, palindrome is a little different. How and why? Because we have 2 strands. DNA is double-stranded or single-stranded?
Double-stranded.
Double-stranded. Then how to check out a palindrome in a DNA? Let me explain it to you. This is the first strand of DNA, 5' end and 3' end. Supposing this is a sequence I've taken, GAATTC. This is the other strand. Other strand is always called as a complementary strand because the prime ulta ho jata hai bacha. If this is 5', then this will be, in the complementary strand, this will be which prime opposite to 5'?
3'.
And in 3', it's going to be 5'. Now, supposing your endonuclease has to cut between G and A. Supposing it is cutting between which two places?
DNA.
I hope you know what G and A stand for: guanine, adenine, thymine, cytosine, and all that. So this particular endonuclease cuts between G and A. So in the first sequence, the first strand that I have, it will cut here, right? In the second strand, it will cut here. Can you see this arrow?
Yes, ma'am.
Because we have G and A over here. In this sequence, we had G and A over here. Endonucleases, they cut at specific sites. Let us see that this endonuclease is going to cut between G and A. So in the first strand, it will cut here, and in the second strand, it will cut here. बच्चे ध्यान से देखना, okay? If you read in the first strand, how is this a palindrome sequence? It is not a palindrome sequence, you will say. You'll say, ma'am, this is GAATTC and this is CTTAG. How can it be a palindrome sequence? This is a palindrome sequence if you read in the same direction. मतलब if you start reading from 5 prime to 3 prime, then नीचे वाले strand को भी 5 prime to 3 prime ही पढ़ना है. Then it will become a palindrome. चलो, let us check. Let's read from 5 prime to 3 prime. Tell me, read out 5 prime to 3 prime in this strand.
GAATTC.
GAATTC.
Now, if you are reading from 5 prime to 3 prime in this strand, then this strand also you need to read from 5 prime to 3 prime. Read from 5 prime to 3 prime in this strand.
GAATTC.
So is it a palindrome?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Let us check the other side. Supposing I don't want to read from 5 prime to 3 prime, I want to check from 3 prime to 5 prime. So I'll take my direction as 3 prime to 5 prime, CTTAAG. But अगर यहाँ पे 3 prime to 5 prime, तो यहाँ पे भी 3 prime to 5 prime. अब यहाँ पढ़ के देखते हैं. 3 prime to 5 prime, CTTAAG, they're coming same. So did you understand what is a palindrome in the case of a double-stranded DNA?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
In English, palindrome was simple. You take a word, you read from both the sides, and the letter sequence remains the same. What example will you take of a palindrome in English?
Malayalam.
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 But there it was quite simple. One word. Here we have a complication because the DNA has how many strands?
Double strands.
Double strand. So how to check out a palindrome in a DNA? Always keep one direction. If you check out from 5 prime to 3 prime in the first strand, then check out from 5 prime to 3 prime only in the second strand also. Then you can check out for a palindrome sequence. Clear everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
चलो बेटा यहाँ पे देखना. Supposing it is cutting between G to A. ये cut हो गया sequence. What is left on one side? Only one thing. What is that?
G.
G. Very good. And on the other strand, you will be left with what? ये पूरा बड़ा वाला. What is it?
AATTC.
AATTC.
And this side is going to cut from here. So on one side, you're going to get again alone what?
G.
G. And in the other strand, you will get this complete CTAA. Now see. This is what you got. You told me this only. Here you got G and here you got. मतलब एक strand छोटा एक बड़ा. Isn't it so?
Yes, ma'am.
One strand is longer, the other is shorter. Such kind of a cut is known as a sticky cut, and these ends are called sticky ends. What are these ends called as?
Sticky ends.
Sticky ends.
When you go to graduation level, these sites are also known as cos sites. Cos, tan, if you remember the trigonometry wala cos. These sites are also known as cos sites. So what are sticky ends? Whenever you come